Hi, everybody. Frank Montro from Keller Williams. I'm here with Rosemary Murphy, one of my top producers, and we have the joy of running into David McDonald and his wife, Dahlia. And David's doing something really cool. He just moved here from West Palm Beach, and he's giving back to the community in a special way. He's giving back and helping people that can't afford to pay for haircuts. He's giving free haircuts. So it's really cool. I'm going to have him talk about his story. David.
My name's David McDonald, as Frank said. We moved here probably about 3 months ago, a little bit over 3 months ago. Been licensed for over 19 years as a hairstylist, cosmetologist / barber, and been cutting here for over 28 years. And so we go to Inglewood. That's one of the places that we go on the corner of 63rd and Halsted.
So you're across the street from the Whole Foods by the bank.
That's right.
At the corner of 63rd and Halsted. So if you are looking for a haircut, a free haircut, you can go there. And David, when are you there? Speaking of the devil, the owner, we're filming right now. Come on in.
Okay, well, let me just say my mother birthday. Let me just
Okay.
say and I will come over there.
All right, sounds good.
Happy birthday, I'm a bad daughter.
Ah,
One second.
thanks, Peyton. So, anyways, all right. So, David, like we said, donates back to people in the community, and he's got a shop set up in Englewood. And David, explained to us how often are you there, and when are you there at the corner of 63rd? And it's outdoors, guys. So when you're driving by, you'll see if he's there or not.
Yep. So I have a portable station that I put out there, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're homeless, not homeless, whether you have a job, you don't have a job. I just want to serve the community, and like 3 months. We've been here for about 3 months, and what got us here is a little unusual. About 9 years ago, it's happened about a little over 9 years ago. I was speaking to a young lady over the phone, and when I was speaking to this young lady, every now and then we used to conversate, and I would just say, "How you doing?"
Hold on 1 second. Okay, let me just get in. I want to make a separate video of this.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so he'll slice and dice this. Let's work on what I want to do is do a quick video on just getting people that will stop by and say, "Hey man, here's $100. Go, here's a bunch of product, whatever." I want to get people. I want to get sponsors, and then I want you to do you together with your wife to talk about your journey here.
Okay.
So that would be kind of cool to have as another video.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we'll continue. So David, you're at the corner of 63rd and Halsted.
Yes.
How often are you there?
So I'm there for about four days. And it varies depending on the weather, and so I'm usually there after church. I'll go there Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I try to make those be my main days.
And you're there from 11 to 6, you said?
Yeah, about 11 to 6.
Weather permitting, of course. So obviously if it's raining, cats and dogs, or if it's raining at all, David's not going to be there. But if you're looking for a place to go, and you know the weather is good, and you know it's those days, David's going to be there, and he will give you a free haircut. Now, David, can use some help too. So if you're a sponsor and you want to get involved, please contact me at 708-307-0777. That's 708-307-0777. I will get you connected with David, and we will work out so that we can help him help more people. Also, if you just want, it doesn't have to be a big donation. You want to come stop by and show him some love, bring him some hair products, help him with a little donation, that would be great too. Or you can call me directly, and I'll make sure that I connect you directly with him. 708-307-0777. Understand, David donates his time and his money and his efforts to help people on the south side in the Englewood community. But you don't have to be from Englewood to take advantage of this. You can come from any place and still get a free haircut. But you know, David can use your help also. So I'm putting this together to let other people know he's exists, and there's not a lot of people like him in this world. I wish there were more people like him. So we need your help. So anything you can do, please come and help us. Thank you. Okay, now roll it, and I want you to let's go. Let's talk about your story. Okay, so David, you have a unique story. It's not an everyday thing for somebody to volunteer 3-4 days a week, giving up their time, and you've got a family. I mean, you seem to be able to do everything and keep, maintain your family, keep your bills in order, all this stuff. Why, what drives you? Why, I mean, with this materialistic world that we live in, where everybody says, hey, I need, I want 5 cars, I want to have, huge houses, I want all these materialistic things. Yeah, your focus isn't on that stuff. Your focus is on helping others, putting people in better places, making people look better, so they can get, if they're out looking for a job, they get a professional haircut, they can get the job. The things that you provide for other people are amazing. What drives you? Because you're going against the culture, the average culture that's out there. That's the person with the most toys wins. What makes you different? Why do you think differently?
That's a good question. I didn't foresee myself doing this. I've been, like I said before, I was licensed for over 19 years. Cutting hair for 28 years. So I built up in the shop over 20 years of good clientele. Clientels I had from 1-star generals, colonels, chief master sergeants.
Serena Williams.
Richard Williams, Serena Venus Williams.
Yeah.
Father, a good friend of mine, and also a client. And so I built up a very good clientele. And
you walked away from that too.
I walked away from that for
wow.
a reason. The Spirit of God gave us commandment to leave what we had and to move to Chicago. And so it's an unusual story. You can't make this up. About a little over 9 years ago, I was speaking to a young lady on the phone, and I used to check up on her every now and then just to see how she's doing, a couple times out of the month. And this one particular conversation was interesting. This one particular night, we were on a conversation. We were talking about things about ministry and just serving, and we wanted to take trips to Africa and just serve in different capacities. And the conversation was just so on point that I said to her, I said, you know what, this conversation was very interesting. This is sitting right next to me here. So I said, this conversation was just very interesting. I would like for us to talk a little bit more. I would like to, like to get to know you more. Her response to me was, so she basically shut me down. That was okay. There was no emotional attachments
yet.
And so after that, she got off the phone, and the Spirit of God spoke to her and told her to get married first and then move to Chicago. She cried for the next 3 days. I had no idea what was going on. That was between her and God. And so 3 days later, I decided to give her a call. I called her. I didn't expect her really to pick the phone up after the spew that she gave me. And so I called her anyway. I called her, and she picked the phone up, and I was surprised.
Persistent pays off, guys.
And so she shared with me what God told her, and my response to her was, well, God didn't speak to me. I would like to get to know you, but God didn't tell me to get married and then move to Chicago. So, long story short, we got married.
That is short.
Right.
Okay, ready then.
So,
from 0 to 100.
Yeah, so we got married, and 4 years passed. We talked about Chicago, and in my mind, I'm saying maybe it's a symbolic thing. Maybe, because she had to move from Jersey to come to West Palm Beach. So I said, maybe it's symbolic, maybe. And so she's telling me no. She said, I know when God speaks, I know what God said to me, and I said, okay. Well, I kept it open. I kept it in my mind. So 4 years passed, and I felt led of God to change churches. And so during this time, I was talking to a gentleman over the phone. He's a pastor, and he's also a prophet. He lived in Mississippi. And he started telling me, I'm on the phone, we're going through this transition, and he started saying, I see God replanting you. That was pretty accurate because I was changing churches. So then he said, I see you linking up with someone south of West Palm Beach and someone north of West Palm Beach. Then he said, but for some reason, I'm seeing a connection in Chicago area.
That's crazy.
He said, but the Lord is saying.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he said, it was something else. And so he said, I see a connection in Chicago. He said, but the Lord is saying that you need to go back and talk to your wife because God's already dealt with her about a move. There's no way that he could have known this.
There's too many too many things lining up for this to be a coincidence.
It's too many.
Yeah, it's just too
we
many.
We have no family in Chicago. We have no relatives.
Crazy.
We have no relatives, no friends, and there's no connection. But
Made no
the Spirit
sense.
of God told us to go. Spoke to my wife first. Now we're getting a second confirmation. So I went back to my wife. I said, "Hey, I was talking to Prophet so and so. His name is actually Apostle Spencer Thomas. We were speaking to him, and he said this, and this, and he mentioned Chicago, and I knew she would be happy about the Chicago. So I said, but he said God has been dealing with you about a move. I said, has God been dealing with you about anything lately? And the reason I asked her that because in my mind, still Chicago, that connection in Chicago may be me meeting somebody, may not be literal moving. So I really was asking her because I was hoping that God dealt with her about move because she was giving me a little hard time about change. Remember, I wanted to change church around that time, so she was kind of giving me a little rough time. So I was hoping that God spoke to her and said, "You need to follow your husband." So I said, "Has God been
Amen."
with you about anything lately? She said, "Nope." She said, "Nope. The only thing that God's been dealing with me about when we first got married, before we got married, get married first and moved to Chicago." So I said, "Okay, no problem." So still wasn't the timing of God yet. Another 4.5 years passed, and so we actually came and we came and made a visit here. We just made a visit. We stopped here, and first time it was our first time in Chicago was last June. We came, and so while I was here, I came and set up right on the corner of. Someone told me not to come to Inglewood. He said, "Whatever you do, don't go to Inglewood." So I said, "That's where I need to be."
My brother, man. Never tell us not to do something because we're gonna do it. That's why I love this guy.
So I went out there, right there where I am now, on the corner of 63rd and Halstead, right across from the Whole Food. I began cutting here for free. And so I did that while I was here visiting, and then so we left. But in my mind, I'm saying, okay, that's it. Matter of fact, someone even came there. There's a program there, Team Inglewood or something. They came when I was out there. They said, "I like what you're doing. We're giving away money so for you to open your business." And I was like, so I'm not from here. I'm from Florida. I'm just here visiting. I'm going back. So he was like, the deadline is Friday, but I was like, well, I'm not. That wasn't interesting me.
Okay.
So I went back. And won't forget this date, July 29th. It was a Sunday night. Remember, timing of God is everything. So me and her go to visit a church, and we're there. Then the pastor says, "You two stand up." So we stand up, and by this time it's 8.5 years. So you could imagine the conversations that we had about Chicago, because she knew that God spoke to her, and I'm like, maybe it's somebody, maybe it, So, we're there in church, and the pastor tells us to stand up, and he says, he looks directly at me, and he says, "Your time in Florida is almost complete." He said, "Your time in Florida is almost set."
Wow.
He said, "I see you moving."
That's scary stuff, man.
He said, "I see you moving to a big city." And then he said, "I see when you get there, God making you a voice." Then he said, "I see your ministry, me and my wife's ministry expanding, our service expanding." And then he said, "I see people throwing down their guns, their cigarettes, and their drugs." He said it in that way. guns, their cigarettes, and their drugs. He said, I see it being so impactful that it's going to open up access to the government where they're going to say, we see the impact that you're making. What can we do to help? And then he looked at me and he said, have you been thinking about moving? And I said, I've been praying about it. My wife is right beside me. She's right on this side of me and she's silent. She's not saying nothing. And I said, I've been praying about it. Then he says this. He says, I'm seeing the state of Illinois. He looked at me and said, what's in Illinois? And I said,
too many coincidences.
I said that's what we've been praying about. One more thing that he mentioned to me at the end of this prophecy, and one of the things that was one of the things that over the years where I was thinking, okay, this is what, if I have to do this, this is what I have to do. It's my children. I have children and full custody of some, 50% custody of others, shared custody, meaning they're with over there for 1 week, they're with me for 1 week. I had to fight for them. I fought to be a part of my
Good for
all
you.
of my kids' life.
Good for you.
And so in my mind, it's okay. If God is calling me there, okay, I'm gonna fight, to have him. So the last part of this prophecy, the music was kind of playing softly, and then he quieted the music down. He said, one more thing I have to mention. He said, I see that you would want to take everybody. He said, you can't do that. He said, if you try to do that, there'll be trouble. But he said, but I see God establishing you there. So when you get there, you'll be able to better provide for them from where you are. So God even touched even my intricate heart, things that nobody else knew. And after that, I said, okay, God, so be it. Pull all of our family together, our kids together. I gave everyone the option. I said, hey, you don't have to come. You don't have to stay. I won't be mad anyway. And I gave everyone the option. There's a couple of them that I didn't give any option, that I had full custody of. I didn't give them an option. But at the last minute, seeing how their faces looking, and I said, you know what? So I'm going to allow you to stay for now, and then you can come visit. But if I don't see things going the way that I want, I'm coming to get you. So, but I'm here, and I'm here to serve. That's the main reason I'm here. When I was there, I couldn't do that. I built a business where I stay busy. While I'm here, I want to give as much. So that's the reason why I give so much. It's not my agenda. I'm here to give. I want to give and love, and maybe something that I say will bring people to the knowledge of Jesus Christ. That's who I represent. That's who called me here. That's who gave me the authority to be here. I just want to love people, and I want to serve people as much as I possibly can. So that's my motive. So I'm here 3 months now. 3 months. I'm excited. I had people tell me, why are you leaving? And it was January. It's cold. I did a video actually in December, and I was like, my new home, Chicago. This is my home. It's because that God has called me here. People say, why are you leaving in this cold? You're leaving this beautiful place and it's warm. It was 70 degrees when I did the weather in December. And I said, I don't care about the weather. I said, I'd rather obey God. I disobey God. I'll be sitting there. There's a place called Singer Island in Palm Beach area. And I'll sit there and I'm floating in the beach, enjoying myself, and then you'll hear on the news, man gets swallowed by fish. Jonah Part 2. So I'm here. I love people. I don't have any agenda, but I want to love on you. I want to serve you. I want to help you. Ministry means to serve, to be a servant. That's what I'm here to do.
Wow, what a great purpose. So if you're listening to the beginning of the story and you're asking yourself, why would anybody in their right mind that has an incredible business down in a very warm part of the United States of America leave and come up here to the Windy City with no friends, no family, and nothing set up business-wise, and just Now you understand why it makes sense. The power of Jesus Christ can overcome all those odds. And what's really cool is that that's happening in his life now, and they're doing extremely well now. They can also, he can also use your help if you want to sponsor it all, and do anything to help him with his business. He welcomes all and any donations. You could reach me at 708-307-0777, and I'll make sure you get connected with him, and we will get you involved in his ministry as well too. Please help us today. We can use your help. Thank you.